What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today I want to be going over a topic that has a little bit to do with an anime show, but more in the fact of what it could mean personally for global, and also a little bit of JP stuff too when it comes to the Dokkan versions of the game that we love and play. So I wanted to quickly get into this little promotional page that came straight from the latest V-Jump here. And as of course, this is being recorded on May 20th at 8:30 p.m. Japan time, 2018. So if at any moment in the future new information comes out regarding the anime or regarding what potentially is coming out in the future, then note that this is an older video. We don't know that stuff at the time of this recording. You know, for all I know, I could upload this and then within 10 hours later, it's gonna be like, oh, by the way, the anime's already been, you know, cleared for 200 seasons, and it's just like, oh, well, apparently what Talon said was completely wrong. Then it's like, well, yeah, no, duh. So I'm just letting you guys know right now, if there's any future information or you're watching this at a much later date, this is why. But I just wanted to kind of go over some speculations, I guess, that a lot of people are trying to come up with when it comes to what this promotional advertisement means here and what it could potentially mean, again, for Dokkan. So first off, let's get into some of the basic translations on here. Now, I am not going to translate the bottom half here, if you can see my cursor right now, this bottom half of each page, because basically what it's doing is that it's talking about the arcade game itself. If you guys don't know what Dragon Ball Heroes is, it's essentially a card game here in Japan where you go out, you go buy booster packs of cards, or you can get them from magazines or other, you know, ways of getting them essentially. And you go to arcades and you literally turn the machine on that looks just like this, and then you literally play your cards and you play the game essentially. I mean, you literally have this. Super Dragon Ball Heroes is literally like a fan service to everyone who loves Dragon Ball. There's everything from Super Saiyan 4 Broly to, as you can clearly see in the picture, Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan Blue Goku. There is even like a golden Cooler right now, you know, where Cooler, Frieza's brother, gets a golden form as well, which is really cool. There is something where Vegeta is under the control, kind of like how Mass Saiyan is with Bardock and everything. And there's fusions between Vegeta and Trunks. There's Gogeta, Super Saiyan, you know, Super Saiyan Blue. There's, at least I think there is. I don't know. I mean, if there's not, there will be in the future, right? If it can be possible, it's gonna happen basically. There's even like Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. So nonetheless, this it's pretty crazy fan service essentially, right? But the one thing that a lot of people have always wondered and thought about is that, why has this never gone globally? This has only been in Japan. Now, the only thing I can really think of besides, you know, it kind of comes close to it is that something like Dragon Ball Fusions, that 3DS game that came out, I think it was about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at most. But again, you know, something like that. And if I remember correctly, actually, it was delayed compared to when it originally came out here in Japan. So, but that's about one of the only like craziest kind of games that you can come out with when it comes to like all these different fusions and everything. Heroes, on the other hand, there is just this huge world that they've created basically, but it's never left Japan. And going back to Dokkan, because I know that's what a lot of people are here to look at, is that, you know, why haven't the hero cards come to the global version of the game, right? If you want to know who the hero cards are real quick, I pulled this straight off of the global database over on DBZ Space, and these are the ones that are still in the files, but they haven't been translated or they haven't been, you know, updated or into, you know, any banners essentially. But you have Darkness Toa, Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, Super Pikkon, I believe, yeah, Super Pikkon. You have Baby Janemba, you have Bobbidi, or Boo and Bobbidi merged together somehow. You have Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Adult, and then you have SSJ3 Trunks. Now, probably some of you have probably seen some of the commercials on the, you know, if you've ever watched YouTube Super Dragon Ball Heroes, little commercials and everything like that, they're like really, really fast. But one has definitely shown Trunks at SSJ3, so it's kind of, you know, common things right there. Heck, there's even like a Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, so it's pretty ridiculous what you can find in there. But a lot of people have always been asking, okay, so why hasn't it come out? And there's been lots of different reasons and speculations. One has easily been that something like an arcade game like this would not be popular in Japan or outside of Japan, simply because arcades are not necessarily that popular in the other parts of the world. I mean, you can argue that, yes, they are popular in some areas, but overall, if you have ever been to Japan, you know that there are arcades for miles in every city and area that you can possibly go to. I easily pass arcades all the time when I'm going from work or I have to go into the city or anything like that. They are still majorly popular here. I always hear my students talking about going to the arcade, doing this, doing that after school and everything. And these are high schoolers. So you can tell that this is definitely something that is just, it's there. And the whole prompt of like collecting cards and things like that are still relevant here in this country as well, because you have people who will go out and they spend spend their allowance as kids, or, you know, they buy these cards as they're older, like adults or even college students or anything like that. And they go and they want to be able to play this game and collection. And that's another thing when you look at something like Dokkan. It's never been about, you know, creating the best team or anything like that. It's all about the collection. And if you want to know the reason, besides Akatsuki not particularly caring and wanting to just simply rake in the money and everything, if you want to look at other reasons as to why maybe the game has not changed as fast as it should be, thankfully Legends seems to be pushing that a little bit faster now, is that in the end, the JP community and the people here, all they care about is collecting. They want to collect these cards, okay? And yes, you can argue that, okay, something like Pokemon and things like that are also popular worldwide and everything, but something like, you know, but again, it comes down to collection. I mean, right now, how many of you, if, you know, for anyone who's watching this, if you are high school or college or an adult, how many of you still collect Pokemon cards or any other type of cards, B, play the game that they are, like, you're actually supposed to play, not just simply collect them. I mean, let's face it, we actually played Pokemon back when we were kids, like the card game, and then you know, go out and you keep doing this over and over and over again. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get a few yeses in the comments, which is perfectly fine, but I'm just saying the majority of people do not do that to the extent that they do here in Japan. So I don't know if that could be one reason as to why they have not globalized this and brought it out to other places. Another reason has to do with licensing potentially. I've always heard the licensing argument about, you know, why hasn't licensing worked and why doesn't it allow them to bring this kind of stuff out. Again, I'm not sure if that is really the reason. I don't know what kind of deals are behind the doors of Super Dragon Ball Heroes and Toei and Bandai and all these other companies that, you know, hold the rights to certain things and why they are not allowed to push them out a little faster. I'm not really sure the reason for that, but again, that's just, you know, what we've heard, and no one would have a really excellent reason until you would actually go into the company probably and like sit in on their, you know, investors calls and all that kind of stuff. So I have absolutely no idea. But when this was announced right here, a lot of people, this anime here, a lot of people were thinking, okay, hang on. Is this an anime? Is this a show? Is this an OVA? If you guys don't know what OVA is, it's kind of like a very short series, or it's usually like an hour-long special, essentially, of certain anime out here in Japan. And a lot of people are like, okay, hang on. If this is an anime, does that mean it's going to get globalized? Because again, we have Dragon Ball Super globalized, we have Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's currently going on with Super right now. Does this mean that something like this, Dragon Ball Hero stuff, could eventually come to the rest of the world, essentially? And I'm going to say right now, yes, there is a possibility that could happen. But as of right now, I'm going to say one thing real quickly before I get into the details of this translation right here, is that the translations on here are very scarce. They do not give us a lot of details, okay? So if we want to take a look over here on this side right here, where we see this little part right here, it says that in 2018, Yen Natsu means summer. This is when it's expected for this first kind of episode to show. However, what you do need to look out for right here is this literally says promotion anime. Okay, so promotion means that they are promoting something, obviously, okay? And again, this has to do with all this little information down here about the arcades and the cards and everything. Heck, there's even like this little down here, I believe, and there's another picture kind of going around. If you guys saw my Twitter post about this right before all this information started coming out, about me saying, like, guys, do not take this particular picture over here on the right, not of course on the screen, but literally over here on the right, that this means that there's an anime coming. This had to do more with promotional stuff when it came to picking your 7 favorite characters from Dragon Ball Heroes and everything. And then when you actually went to the arcades and used your cards, you got to fight along them and everything like that. So that was what that whole tweet is about, if you happen to see that, by the way, which again, at the time of this recording, was about 4 or 5 days ago. So anyway, going back now to this little poster here, if we want to keep looking at everything like that, this literally just down here, it says Super Dragon Ball Heroes Promotion Anime ni Naruzo, which basically means they are bringing a promotional anime to hype up Dragon Ball Heroes and this extra content that they are bringing out in the summer, which of course, if you look at the date right here, it says the first episode is going to be on July 1st, which of course is a Sunday. It doesn't give us time though. It just simply tells us that's going to be on some kind of like prison planet. This right here translates exactly to prison. Wakusei means planet, and then world means hen. Okay, so that's essentially what it's talking about. That's all the details we really know. Who knows if we would actually see Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Goku fighting together. Of course, we'll see Trunks, we'll see Vegeta, we'll see Goku and such, but it's hard to say exactly what the details are and everything like that. Other than that, though, the promotional poster itself here doesn't give any other information. It doesn't say if it's actually an episode like series. Is it gonna be a multi-episode over or anything like that? Is it gonna be something that it looks like a few episodes at first, but then it's actually gonna be turned into a movie? If you guys know anything about like the Digimon Tri Adventure, that was originally supposed to be a movie, but then they broke each movie into like 5 episodes or 4 episodes, depending on how long it was essentially. And so maybe that turns into something like that. This is something that, again, it may be coming out in a couple months here, or actually about a month now by the time of this. Most of you have already seen this. But nonetheless, that doesn't necessarily mean that this could go global. Now, if this does turn into a multi-episode season where, say, it goes from the 1st of July and this goes all the way until the movie comes out, which is in December, then if that gain a lot of hype and attraction, then potentially it could go global. I'm not really sure though. I mean, we don't know if this is just simply directed at the Japanese audience, which of course this magazine usually is, but with how popular Dragon Ball has gained over the last, almost 2 decades now or something like that, it is absolutely, it's absolutely a lot more popular than it is way back in the 90s and everything. So maybe they are not really thinking about this, just they're thinking about their Japanese, audience here, but then all of a sudden the world sees them and they go, oh, wait, you guys actually do like this? We actually kind of show this in anime form. It's been kind of leaked to the internet, obviously through torrents and downloading and all that kind of stuff. And you guys actually like this? Oh, maybe we should do this. And I know some people might go, no, they've known about this for a while. They probably know that this is pretty popular or people would love to see this. Again, the whole arcade thing is a whole other story about if they would actually bring that out and everything like that. So I'm not really sure. But again, if that does happen and this whole promotion anime thing is actually a series and it runs for a long time, and when I say a long time, I mean more than 5 episodes. If this thing only runs for 5 episodes, I can almost guarantee it this will not go globally, at least for another year at minimum, maybe even longer, or potentially doesn't go at all. But again, the main question is, if this does happen, would this mean that we can finally start seeing hero stuff in America, in Europe, in Australia, and other countries like that? And I think that easily means it, because a lot of people do, again, going back to Dokkan, why a lot of you might be watching this, is that a lot of people want these cards. Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, SSJ 3 Gotenks, the baby Janemba, the Boo and Bobbity fused together, the Super Pikkon, and the Super Saiyan 3 Gohan here. They're all pretty good cards. Now, granted, they're not busted cards that's like, oh, you don't have these and you're basically, it's not existing here. But someone like Gohan's really good. Trunks is a very good tank when it comes to certain events like that. Gotenks is very good on a fusion team, if I remember correctly. I think he's still optimal if he's rainbowed, actually. The baby Janemba, he's kind of he's just whatever it is. He used to actually be really good, but no one really uses him anymore. The whole baby boo thing or whatever, he's got a high chance to stun, which is yay, I guess, which is kind of cool. All allies attack plus 30 when HP is 80% or below. Decent passive, but that 80% is definitely going to hold them back depending on what team you throw them onto. But the big one that a lot of people also want is the Darkness Toa here, because she is an amazing support unit for super agility, I believe, or extreme agility, and heck, just being on an extreme class. Extreme allies, key plus 2, attack and defense of 25%, and then when she's below 30% HP, she will grant all of your allies that one turn 50% extra attack and recover your full health, basically. This English translation here is a little wonky for my liking, but I prefer just to read the Japanese of it. But basically, though, a lot of people do want these cards, and I know some people would easily throw down some stones and some money for it, which, you would think that maybe Akatsuki/Bandai would know about this, but again, I don't actually think this has more than anything that Akatsuki can really do. Usually they are 99%, the reason for how things happen, but things in terms of Dragon Ball Super, or superheroes, or heroes, or whatever you want to call it, that must be a lot more higher up type of stuff. Again, I'm not really 100% sure, because if it was all on Akatsuki, then we would have seen this through other forms of media and entertainment and everything like that. I personally thought maybe Darkness Toa would have been hitting global already, because I know we didn't have Darkness Toa in Xenoverse or anything, but we did have Toa. And so, but Darkness Toa herself is obviously a Dragon Ball Heroes thing. So again, hard to say if that would actually be the case, but here's honestly hoping that it does go if this is an anime show, and this is, it runs for about 20 to 30 episodes, and it is received really well, and they go and try and push it globally. Because remember, if this flops in Japan, okay, now I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't, I don't know how many people here in Japan truly like heroes and everything, but if this was to flop here in Japan. Because remember, this is supposed, the whole point of an anime, the whole point of the anime here in anything, even Dragon Ball Super, is to sell toys, cards, and merchandise. The episodes themselves, they do not sell and make the most money. It's all on the merchandise, okay? So if this flops and this does not do well for the Dragon Ball Heroes game, the merchandise, or anything like that, then no way will this go global. No way will this go global. So I'm trying to lay out basic facts that we do know. Again, there's a lot of information that we do not know. And, you know, we'll have to wait and see, honestly. July's are right around the corner. I can't believe it's almost the middle of 2018. God, where has time been going? But, you know, anyway, I just want to kind of get that information out there and kind of get a discussion going. Do you think that the anime itself will come to the States, to Europe, to the rest of the world, and to my Dokkan viewers who watch me for my Dokkan translations and everything? Do you think that if this does go global, does that mean that global will finally get the Dragon Ball Heroes cards? We're not really sure. I can tell you one thing right now that I'm definitely going to predict, and I think will probably be true. If this is anywhere near as good as they probably think it's going to be, I see another Heroes banner in the near future, probably mid-July, maybe late July, or right before the 2.5 million 2.5 million downloads, or 250 million downloads, or maybe the 300 million downloads, whatever one they're going to celebrate, whether that, again, that's in July or August. Really hard to say, but I would not be surprised if that happens. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, as always. For those who happen to come upon these translations for just the show itself, do you think that this will actually be more than just simply an OVA or promotional anime? Because, again, promotional animes don't really go as long as a normal season would. Do you think that this will run until the end of December? Do you think it will go to the world? Let me know your thoughts. Again, if you're catching this about a month or two later and we learn more information, then some of this stuff might be wrong. Some of my assumptions might be wrong. You know, just keep in mind that, again, that was the case. So anyway, guys, again, thanks for letting me know. All the comments down below. As always, I'll try to reply as much as I possibly can. Make sure you hit that sub button if you happen to like the content and you want to see more of this stuff. I do a bunch of translations like this every month when all of the V-Jump stuff comes out, whether it's Fighters, Dokkan, well, I guess Heroes is kind of new stuff, but sometimes I do like to go over just simply on my Twitter as well. Follow me on my Twitter as always. And yeah, again, thanks for stopping by, everyone. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one.